We're continuing our coverage here on the sidelines of the Noosa Mining and Exploration Conference, and with me now is a guest who likes tracking the hottest metals, so hopefully he'll give us some insights here today. Nick Mather is the Managing Director of DGR Global. Welcome to Kitco News.
Thank you, Daniel.
So your company is different than the rest of the guys here.
Yeah, we're a resource company creation house, so we take a diverse range of early stage exploration ideas for the world's hottest commodities. That's gas, copper, lithium, cobalt, and we develop companies on them that stand alone from a financing and a management and a project point of view. And DGR starts off with 100% interest in these companies. We dilute down as the company gets more and more valuable, and that means that we're building an asset that's closer to money, and that's how we build our asset.
So Nick, what's your criteria when you're looking at different projects and you know what you want to add to your portfolio here? What do you look for?
We like we like yellow light countries. That's countries that are at the moment probably a little bit unacceptable for the majors. That means the playing field's open. We can kick goals from any corner, and we can avail ourselves of the best prospectivity in the country. That's what SolGold did in Ecuador, and that's what ARMA's doing in Northern Australia. So we like to go into a very prospective terrain, look at data on a big scale, identify a big scale on which patterns emerge, tell us where ore bodies and petroleum accumulation should be, peg a very big tenure position. That means we have a province. That makes us indispensable to governments. It commands the attention of capital markets. It keeps competition out, and it means that we can easily raise capital.
So Nick, you like swimming against the current, though. You like going when other people aren't interested in these places.
Yeah, the nature of the moon is that it has phases, and tides that come in against you eventually go out and carry you with them. So, yeah, we swim against it to start with, and that puts us in front. And then when we get the assistance of the tide, we're well in front, and we cross the line first, and that happens every time.
So give us some insights now. You know, you mentioned many metals at the start of this talk. You know, what if you had to narrow it down? What's hot right now?
Copper is hot. If you look at the price graph,
the press in the past month
versus demand for copper, and you look at where copper demand is going, it's going to break out. You've got labour problems in Chile. You've got ore bodies becoming harder and harder to find. Resource grades coming down. Some of the mining costs going up, although block caving is helping to bring them down. And so we really like copper. That's why we went to the Andean copper belt, and because Ecuador was a yellow light country that a lot of people didn't want to go to, we went to Ecuador, got the first mover advantage. That's why SolGold is going to be the world's next great integrated explorer, developer and producer for both copper and gold, and that's why Newcrest is so interested in us, and that's why so many other majors are so interested too.
So you believe that's going to be the next great big gold deposit? We've been talking about this for years. Investors have been waiting for the next big breakout.
The next big breakout is definitely going to come from Ecuador. It's so underexplored. If you replicated that land position over northern Chile, you would cover 25% of the world's copper resources. It's untouched in Ecuador, and we hold the keys to it.
So this is the top jurisdiction for you right now, Ecuador?
Ecuador holds the greatest promise for us from a copper and gold exploration point of view. We're finding things there in high-grade veins up to 600 grams a ton, bonanza grade.
But what about the safety of operating in Ecuador?
It's completely safe. We've never had a personnel accident. We've only ever had one lost time.
Right. It's just
injury.
I'm saying, like, compared to jurisdictions like Canada, the U.S., Australia.
They have their different drawbacks, particularly
legislation, right?
Climate in Canada, legislation in Australia. Minority political groups in both Canada and Australia make land access very difficult. In Ecuador, people want to help. The government wants to help. The local community wants to help. So we endorse those entities, work closely with them, and bring as many of those stakeholders as close to us as possible.
So, Nick, we're here at the Noosa Mining Conference. I'm used to really covering the North American market, and I have a good sense and idea of investors' interest in the mining space over there. How would you sum up the feeling here in Australia?
Australians are great risk takers. The nation was built off risk takers, and at every scale, Australians like having a punt, whether it's on a horse or a flipping coin or a mining stock. So we realise the power of exploration and discovery financially. The Pierre Lassonde curve shows that you add the greatest value during the exploration phase. That's why I'm an explorationist, and I have this great skill of being a geologist and an opportunist by nature, and that gives us.
What amazes me, what's different with this conference to some that I've just attended in Canada, the US, is that the gold price isn't moving, silver's not moving. Yet this conference, we have 1,000+ people. All the booths are sold out. So Australians are almost don't care that gold's not moving right now, or the metals might not be, the hottest thing.
We have a couple of amazing success stories driven by resource entrepreneurs in Australia. You look at the emergence of Northern Star, you look at Andrew Forrest companies, Fortescue Metals. He decided that the world needed a lot of iron. So he said, I'm not going to peg an iron mine, I'm going to peg an iron province. That's what we're doing with copper in SolGold. For us, copper is the new iron ore. It's a metal that the world needs for civilization, and it's not going away. And as you urbanise 9 billion people and they get older, they need transport, they need copper wire, they need electricity.
What happens if a recession were to hit next year? There's talk of many analysts come on saying 2019 might get ugly. Does that faze you?
No, because against that you've still got people urbanising, and they need air conditioning, they need transport, they need communications, they need copper. All of the world's major copper analysts in the major companies, in the banks and so on, have all analysed the copper situation. They've factored in recession, they've factored in boom and bust, they've factored in discoveries and no discoveries. Either way, the copper price is going up. And when you've got an ore body as big as Alpala, that's getting bigger, and it's got a rich heart to it, that spells great news for SolGold and DGR.
Nick, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Best of luck with all your projects.
Thank you very much.
Success, and thank you for watching. We'll have much more for you on Kitco.com. Thanks, Nick.